Reading for April 23rd, Science of Mind, A Philosophy, a Faith, a Way of Life by Ernest Holmes. Reading from page 168, paragraph 3, through page 170, paragraph 2, using inclusive language.
The first requisite. The first requisite for the mental and spiritual practitioner is a full sense of the sacredness of their trust, the sacredness of the confidence of their patient, which impels them to pour out their very soul. This confidence a practitioner should keep sacred, inviolate. They should no more betray this trust than would a priest who officiates at the confessional, a lawyer who handles the business and finances of their client, or a physician who cares for the physical well-being of their patients. Practitioners do meet occasionally and discuss cases, as doctors might in a clinic, but they should never mention the names nor the personal affairs of those under treatment. A practitioner's business. It is the practitioner's business to uncover God in every person. God is not sick. God is not poor. God is not unhappy. God is never afraid. God is never confused. God is never out of its place. The premise upon which all mental work is based is perfect God, perfect person, perfect being. First, perfect God, then perfect person. There is a spiritual person who is never sick, who is never poor, unhappy, never confused, nor afraid, who is never caught by negative thought. Browning called this the spark which a person may desecrate but never quite lose. These are the tools of thought with which a practitioner works. Where do they do their work? In their own mind, never anywhere else, always in their own thought. A practitioner never tries to get away from the mind within. We are practicing scientifically when the mind refuses to see the apparent condition and turns to the absolute. A scientific treatment cannot be conditioned upon anything that now exists, upon any experience less than perfection. In treatment, we turn entirely from the relative, entirely away from that which appears to be. We might begin to treat with the statement, with God all things are possible. God can find a way. We might say, they that dwell in the secret place of the Most High, etc. It does not matter so much what one says. It is what one believes when they say it that counts. They must believe, if they are going to be a successful practitioner, that their word is the law of that whereunto it is spoken. We treat the person not as a patient, not as a physical body, not as a diseased condition. Neither do we treat the disease as belonging to them. We must not think of the disease as being connected with them or as any part of them. The practitioner realizes that people are born of spirit and not of matter. They realize this until they see their patient a living embodiment of perfection. The practitioner, then, is one who recognizes the power of mind, definitely, specifically, concretely, and consciously speaks from their objective mind into subjectivity and gives direction to a law which is the actor. What the practitioner really does is to take their patient, the disease, and everything that appears to be wrong into their own mentality, and here they attempt to dissolve all false appearances and all erroneous conclusions. At the center of the practitioner's own being, the healing work must be accomplished. The more completely the practitioner is convinced of the power of their own word, the more power their word will have. There must be a recognition that the power of the Word, operating as the truth and reality of being, can do all things. Therefore, the person whose consciousness is the clearest, who has the most complete faith, will be the best healer.